Worldwide Hippies presents Hippie News and Stuff with Winston, Smithz and the Worldwide Hippies News Team.
Welcome to Hippie TV News and Stuff for the week of November 14th. Brought to you by WorldwideHippies.com. Citizen journalism on the web. I am Winston Smithz. Activists have been keystoned. The revolution will be occupied. The doc is swinging a cane. Ed Croft wants a big hug. Hippie has a few news stories. Mikel K's life is a beach. Our asshole of the week and more. Top story. Activists claim victory after months of protests. If you believe corporate news, the web scrubber Google, mainstream media in general, and even the activists themselves, tar sands oil will not be flowing through the U.S. anytime soon. Barack Obama has put on hold the new pipeline that was to bring down from Canada the dirtiest, most toxic oil sludge to be refined in Texas and the Gulf. That is tar sands oil. So, is the tar sands issue dead for now? And what may be one of the largest media manipulations to ever take place, right up there with weapons of mass destruction, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, Bush being elected in 2000, and Israel really wanting peace, was the announcement last week that the activists won. Well, Worldwide Hippies investigated the eco-triumph, and here's what we found. Executive Order 13337 authorizes the Department of State to lead the review of the presidential permit applications for transporter pipelines, granting the Department of State discretion in determining what factors to examine to inform a determination on whether the proposed project is in the national interest. In other words, it's a new don't ask, don't tell. The Department of State actually has no office or unit that does environmental reviews. They'll have to set one up. The Department of Energy and the Environmental Protection Agency, as well as independent researchers, are the ones that should be doing the review and have done so in the past. The State Department and the Barack Obama administration say that because the pipeline crosses our border, it falls under the State Department. Here's a fact. Hundreds of pipelines already cross the border from Canada to the U.S., and as far as we could find out, all, without exception, have been approved without the State Department ever being involved. By not allowing all agencies to review the tar sands pipeline, the Obama administration is setting up a plausible deniability if the review is shown to be flawed in the future, say after the pipeline is already in. Here are a few more facts you need to know. Tar sands oil is already flowing into the U.S. It has been for a few years now. Actually, 1 million barrels a day are pumped into the U.S. It dead ends in Nebraska. The tar sands pipeline already exists. The proposed new pipeline is just an extension of it. TransCanada and its many big partners have a plan B for now that they're enacting. They will add pumping stations along the pipeline that are already there to increase tar sands oil to 1.5 million barrels a day, and they'll be doing it soon. Never discussed was the fact that tar sands oil is already being delivered to refineries in Texas. It's being delivered by trucks and rail tankers. Based on costs from previous oil spills, oil companies' average cost for cleanup from a truck spill or rail is 50%. The other 50% of cleanup has been covered by taxpayers, local, state, and federal. When a pipeline spill occurs, previously, cost of the cleanup for the oil company has been only 5%. The other 95%, you guessed it, taxpayers. Putting off a decision on the pipeline was a brilliant political move also. Corporations will for sure be pumping the cash into Obama's re-election coffers, and the president can tell the base that he's waiting for the review and will make the right decision at that time. Fucking brilliant. Really fucking brilliant. The real purpose for the pipeline seems to be exports to China. The refineries in Canada are already operating at 100%. The Canadian people will not let the government build more refineries because of the effects on the environment, nor will they let the multinationals lay pipe to their coastline. But if the oil companies can get that oil down to the southern coast of the U.S., they will have a base for refineries to export not only tar sands diesel, but Canadian gasoline to China. They will save billions on insurance and transportation costs and have the U.S. taxpayers responsible for cleaning up their messes. Yes, we've all been fucking had, and you should be pissed. If there isn't a pipeline started in 2013, I'll cut my hair. Here, to cut through the sludge of human cane, is the doc.
What's up, Doc?
Pause, hippies. Hello, bugs.
Thank you for the kind words, Winston. I gotta admit, I rolled on the floor and laughed my ass plumb off when I saw that Newt Gingrich was calling Herman Cain to answer for the charges by women who claim that he, Cain, had assaulted them. That's funny. That's the condom calling the butt plug scummy. If Herman Cain's a serial rapist, though, that's not funny, and he wants to be President of the United States. Well, no, rape, I'm not exaggerating. That's sex procured under coercion, right? Or is there something I'm missing? Cain used his power to coerce women into sex with him, demanding in one case that we know of that the applicant for a job as a lobbyist with the NRA, no, not that one, perform oral sex on him in exchange for a position, so to speak. So there's really no other possible construction to put on it. 5 women whom Cain has alleged abused have come forward. There are probably 5 dozens more. Over the course of his long career, seeking power and then abusing it to assault women. I mean, that seems to be his style. Women who cannot or dare not resist or report him, sure. Hundreds, probably, certainly dozens. What, you think he just started this in 1998 and then abruptly stopped again? He's been doing this since he was a kid. And he hasn't stopped either, I promise you. Think about the French dude from the IMF who was caught raping the third world, one hotel maid at a time. Herman's problem is he can't keep his dick behind his zipper. Plus, he sounds and behaves and he comports himself as such a perfect, buffoonish, fast-talking caricature of the stereotype power-hungry, pretentious, parvenu black pimp. You gotta wonder why the GOP keeps him around unless it's for that very fact. Old cynical Woody here, he expects the GOP are using Cain to remind their base about the prevailing myths about black men and why they detest and fear them, or should, or shouldn't, but they can't use that lever against ShamWow. He's careful and circumspect. You listen to the old bombster, why, you'd almost think he's a white man. But in GOP political epistemology, one black's pretty much the same as any other. Cain serves to remind whites, the rednecks and crackers and teabaggers in the base, that they all look alike, hippies. Anyway, that's how I see it. Down here at the beach. Back to my pal Winston in Hippie Central.
Thanks, Doc, for shedding some disinfectant light on the viral mutations of politics. And now here's Ed Croft on Reconnecting.
Calling on an interplanetary craft. Oh, hi, Winston. Just chilling out, connecting with my friends. But, you know, you gotta think about that for a moment. We're really connecting. How many of those friends do we actually touch? How many of them do we talk to face to face? I mean, it's good. We're able to talk to people all around the world and share ideas and everything, and it brings us together in that fashion. But we've become electronic zombies. Look at how many people walk around with earbuds in their ears, on the phone, their cell phone all the time. How many times you're looking at other cars, you're driving down the highway and see somebody chattering away on a cell phone. For all this connectedness, we've become very disconnected. We don't take part in conversations anymore. We don't even listen to nature. I mean, we've gotten to the point where we can objectify just about anything. Trees in the way, tear it down, put up a housing complex, and we'll call it the reserve. And then when people complain about the deer problem, well, we'll have to get rid of the deer. Meantime, the deer are in the woods going, we got a human problem. The thing is that we feel we were put in dominion over everything. But with that comes great responsibility. Putting over dominion means that we're stewards of the earth. Not meant to wipe everything out. The sad news came that the West African black rhino has gone extinct. That's it, folks. There is no more. We did this. We wiped them out. We wiped them out. They're no more. Not the first species we've done it to, and it probably won't be the last. It'll probably get worse until we finally wipe out the human race. Because we don't care. We're too disconnected. We don't know what it's like. So I suggest to you, grab somebody, give them a big old hug. Feel what it is like to connect to another human being. Go for a walk in the woods. Take your shoes off, feel the earth beneath your feet. Reconnect to Earth Mother. Listen to the birds tweet. Not that electronic shit, but real tweets, real music. Listen to the chipmunk chitter and the babbling brook. This is the real world. This is the world we were once part of. And we need to reconnect with it again, or else we'll be lost forever. My heart to your heart. One heart, one spirit. Back to you, Winston.
Thanks, Ed. This week on The Revolution Will Be Occupied, we look at women on the front lines. Images from around the world just last week. A female UCLA student arrested by Los Angeles Police Department officers after she and 11 student protesters sat in a circle as part of a protest of bank practices and rising fees at public universities. In Bogota, on November 10th, thousands of students from more than 30 public universities took to the streets in Colombia to protest against proposed cuts in education and reforms. Here, a woman holds a banner against the ECB in Naples. On November 11th, during a rally called Occupy Naples, referring to the Occupy Wall Street movement in New York. They were protesting against banks and other international financial powers. Here in Hungary, activists of the True Democracy Now! Group hold banners reading Direct Democracy during a demonstration for a better and livable world and to protest against the political and economical system. In Rome, November 11th, a protester holds up a sign reading Neither Tremonti nor Monti during a protest in front of the Ministry of Finance against the package of austerity measures that were demanded by the European Union. And in Yemen, a woman covers her mouth with her hand painted in the colors of their national flag during a protest against the U.S.-backed regime of Ali Abdullah Saleh. Later that day, government forces shelled the country's second largest city, Taz, killing 9 people, among them 2 women and a child. Here, a protester holds up a banner as she camps outside the Banca d'Italia on November 11th in Venice to protest against financial institutions and cuts proposed by the government. Here is a photo of an Indonesian Muslim woman who wears a Palestinian flag mask during a solidarity protest for the Palestinian people in Jakarta. Demonstrators of a group, Occupy Rio, seek to address the corruption in the police and the problems with the healthcare system under the current government there. In Athens, protesters shout slogans during anti-government and central bank protests. In Bogota, a demonstrator marched during a student protest against the government plans to reform higher education. And in Brazil, and in France. Here's protesters in Bogota, protesters in London, here at home in Scottsdale, Arizona, in China, Philadelphia, Cairo, St. Peter's Square at the Vatican, St. Peter's Square at the Vatican, St. Peter's Square at the...
You are a pig.
Okay. Syria and Atlanta. Next week on The Revolution Will Be Occupied, a worldwide hippie exclusive report from Occupy Fredonia. Now, from Preoccupied at the Beach, here is the Mikel K Minute.
Thanks, Winston. Hey, it's Mikel K here at Grand Lagoon in Panama City Beach, Florida, with Just Joan. This is the Mikel K Minute on worldwidehippies.com, and I'm going to do a poem that has nothing to do with the beach. It's called Your Box. I'm a lesbian. I am a lesbian. I'm a Black Panther. I am a Black Panther. I am gay. I am gay. I am everything you are scared of, because because you don't understand it, can't fit it into your box. I'm a lesbian, I'm a Black Panther, I am gay. I am one of the 99%. I am here in Panama City Beach, loving the birds, loving the shells that are left, loving it all. Back to you, Winston, from the beach.
Thanks, Michael. But why are you always the only one on the beach, man? Here, speaking trash, crash, and dead roommates, is Hippie.
Hi, Winston. News from the UK. A pregnant Anna McGinn handed her wedding ring to her husband Brian for safekeeping during her shower. Since Brian had other trash in his hands, he mistakenly threw Anna's ring in the garbage. Nothing new, happens every day. But does every husband risk a wade through the local dump to recover a precious keepsake? Anna phoned the local waste management company and was given permission to search the plant's trash pile to find the ring. 30 minutes later, and knee-deep in trash, Brian McGinn found the sparkling treasure wedged in filth and brought the ring home to his ecstatic Anna. Aw, how romantic. And a little bit dirty. A little too dirty. To each his own. In Oregon, a video has surfaced as a reminder to us all. Pull over for emergency vehicles. Footage was just released from a September 3rd incident when a police cruiser was responding to an emergency call. Instead of pulling to the side, a nearby car actually turned into the police car's path, causing the cruiser to slam into a nearby house. The shocked residents of the house were only feet away, watching television. The police car was completely totaled, but no one was seriously injured. The driver of the car was cited for failing to yield for an emergency vehicle. A historian in Moscow known for his expertise in cemeteries has been taking his work home with him. Anatoly Moskvin was detained at a local cemetery when he was caught carrying a bag of bones. When police visited his flat to question him, they discovered the remains of 29 bodies, which he dug up himself. He made the bodies into life-size dolls that he dressed up in burial clothes scavenged from other graves. Doll-making instructions were also found in his flat, along with photos of the grave nameplates belonging to the stolen corpses. Back to you, Winston.
Thanks, Hippie. Where'd you dig up that last story? Okay, tough crowd. Oh, I hear it's time for our Asshole of the Week. And this week it goes to the Republican Senate in Michigan for gutting an anti-bullying law. Matt Epling was incessantly bullied at McDonald Middle School in East Lansing, Michigan. His last day of 8th grade was the final straw when he was giving a welcome to high school beating. School officials did little after his parents notified them, so they decided to go to the police. But fearing retribution from his bullies, Epling killed himself rather than tell the police what happened. In the 9 years since, the state's Republican lawmakers would not let an anti-bullying law through, saying it would create a protected class of citizens. They were talking about gays. Michigan is one of only 3 states without an anti-bullying law. Meanwhile, at least 10 more bullied students have committed suicide in that state. So, this year, Matt's safe school law was finally put to a vote in the Michigan Senate. According to the proposed law put forth by Republicans, torment is not bullying if a sincerely held religious belief or moral conviction is behind the bully's action. The law specifically addresses cyberbullying, but only if the bully uses a device owned or under the school's control, not a student's own computer or cell phone. Also, Republicans would only support the bill if it didn't require schools to report bullying, didn't have provisions for enforcement or teacher training, and did not hold school officials accountable for failing to act. With that, the bill passed. 26 Republican votes in favor, 11 Democrats opposed. So if it's signed by the Republican governor, Michigan will still be one of the 3 states without an anti-bullying law. And the Republican Senate in that state are worldwide hippies assholes of the week. Well, that's it for this week. Please share our video and repost it on your Facebook page, and visit worldwidehippies.com for citizen journalism and news 24/7. And visit our store or make a donation so we can keep up the howl for peace and justice. And you will see us here next Monday.